Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 now today. Got some more Guild Wars for you guys. So for our first match over here, we're going to be diving into this tower that has a Dragon Bride Senya defense team, and I think this is a perfect showcase for what Elvira brings to the table. Tidal Rift Elvira has a plethora of debuffs that you can inflict onto your opponent, namely Curse, and Curse is absolutely amazing because this allows you to indirectly deal damage to units that have evasion or are protected by things like Dragon Bride Senya, for example, through damage sharing and all that stuff, and you don't cause certain passives and things to proc as well, because it's fixed damage, right? It's additional damage, so that's really good. And plus, the fact that she penetrates defense means that she's really strong against tanky units like Boss Arunca and such, and the fact that she can seal on her skill 1 is even more valuable against evasion targets, and also on units like, again, Dragon Bride Senya, for example, to prevent them from proccing their passive skills. But in addition to this Tidal Rift Elvira, which by the way, we are running her on Twilight Calamity for that chance to get that attack buff so we can deal super duper high amounts of damage. We also on Weakening set with Pursuit set for that extra damage as well. Pursuit does work with Curse because Curse is additional damage dealt and Pursuit increases the amount that you do through that. And so this is the current build that I'm rocking, about 4k attack, 240 speed. On the slower side of things, I know, but I do like having some bulk on her and a little bit more effectiveness to boot. She already gets 100 effectiveness from her Undispellable buff, and then Twilight Calamity here gives her an extra 24, so 84 effectiveness. On top of that means you have over 200 effectiveness, should be fine in most situations, right? The other units that we're running here are going to be support, and I know we're going to be sealing my opponents anyway with Shepherd of the Dark DN, but she is a really great bridge unit for Zeo here to kinda, you know, stop this Rinnock from taking a turn, mostly. But Shepherd of the Dark DN does carry Tagahel's Ancient Book, which does help because I do want to Soulburn with my Elvira if we get to that point of needing to take extra turns. So this is currently what she's running on her gear. She's running hit set with speed set, Tagahel's Ancient Book for the extra souls, 230 something speed. It's good enough to cut with Zeo, especially against these types of units on the right side. We have Zeo as the last unit, Tagahel's Ancient Book, 260 speed, a mix of offense and defensive skills, or stats, along with a little bit of effectiveness to boot. We are currently on an attack imprint for the team to help Elvira's damage out even more. You don't need the effectiveness because he does Soulburn for his skill 3 to push up this DN, right? We need a Soulburn there, and it already ignores effect resistance. For the bottom team, we have Setsuka, Harsetti, and Genesis Raz. So I'm going to test out this team here. It seems pretty fun. A guildmate of mine had done this. So Young Senya is going to be here with her Proof of Friendship. That gives you a little bit more bulk, which is kind of nice. The stats on Young Senya don't really matter. Just make her super duper bulky with some effect res if you want, and she's pretty much good to go. You mostly just use her into stuff like Harsetti. And so if you have an earth unit in the front, in this case Saria, you should be good to go because you get extra fighting spirit from an earth unit in the front line. Now my Saria here is on a complete nuke build. I know I could probably swap out her boots or something for attack, but this should be good enough. We have over 4,600 attack, almost 350 crit damage. She is on Otherworldly Machine that increases her AoE damage by 10%, also ignores damage sharing effects, not that they matter in this case, and we also have extra damage granted for her passive proc, her skill 2 effect that we're going to be using. Now, Saria does gain focus from units that take extra turns, and Young Senya so happens to take an extra turn when she is hit and gets that full fighting spirit, consumes it all, and then she'll be able to push up the Saria to go after the Harsetti, right? So this should be really, really nice. Hopefully she survives. I think 9k HP on top of the artifact from Young Senya. I don't think Harsetti can one-shot us here with a skill 3. And then last but not least, we're going to bring in Tori. Now, Tori here is mostly just for additional damage. She's a really strong nuke. She doesn't need souls to work, and she's immune to debuffs as well because her immunity is going to be undispellable, right? That's her passive ability. Any buff she has cannot be dispelled, and she's currently rocking pen set, torrent set, and immunity set, triple set here. Her speed doesn't matter. You can technically run attack boots in this case to deal more damage, but just gonna run with what I got here, because I'm pretty confident in the outcomes. And hopefully I don't eat my words, but let's go ahead and jump into it, see how this plays out. So, for the first match here, we have Zio going, should be able to push up this Shepherd of the Dark DN, right? 50% combat readiness, easy peasy. Let's go ahead and hit the boss of Runka here. This will push her back. It doesn't matter if she counters or whatnot, because all we need is to get our Shepherd of the Dark DN to push up. And when we do this non-attack skill, there we go. Twilight Calamity does proc on our Elvira, so that's nice. And now we can go ahead and put debuffs onto our opponents too. Now that my opponent has 4 debuffs, right? There should be a 100% chance for my Elvira to jump up. There we go, in combat readiness, meaning she will take the next turn. And I am going to go ahead and use the skill 3. We're going to curse everybody, including the Rinok. So even though you cannot reach them because they're behind that boss of Runka, we're going to come in here, deal so much damage with Elvira's skill 3 through the Proof of Valor, and look at that. The curse damage just finishes off that Rinok. Beautiful stuff. And you go in for the kill, just sweeping the rest of the team. She's just so incredibly strong. I can't believe they released a unit like this, but she's so versatile too. You can use her in slower team comps, which will hopefully be able to showcase later on, depending on these this guild's defense teams here. But this is also going to be a pretty quick sweep of this team. Look at that, the additional damage right from the young Senya, pretty good. We're going to go ahead and push up our team so that Tori and Saria can go. There we go, very nice. And guess what? Saria gives everybody invincibility, so you have no chance of dying here. And so watch this extra attack coming out. How much damage are we gonna deal? Oh my god. That is absolutely incredible, guys. Wow. That is some cool damage there. Really cool tech. Highly recommend Young Senya Saria together, guys, against Harseti. And look at that. We get to go ahead and attack this Genesis Raz, take him down with the Tori, master the Nightmare procking, so we can easily come in here and just finish off the Harseti as well. That was a pretty clean match there. If Saria had attack boots, we would have finished off the Harseti as well in that one whole sweep. But guys, that damage was pretty satisfying. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump into our second match over here, up against a smaller tower on the defense team, and it's to help us unlock the main tower for the rest of our guild to attack later tonight. We have an Arbiter Vildred, a Rinok, and a Perfumer Bibulus, and so to respond to this type of team, I am bringing in my own RNL, a powerhouse unit, the fastest unit I have on my account. She's currently rocking Violet Talisman, and she's running Speed and Penetration set for maximum amount of damage that we can do. So the goal here is to use RNL to take out this Perfumer Bibulus so that she doesn't really, you know, heal and kind of sustain the rest of his team, right? The cleansing is really annoying. In order to do that, we need a Soul Burn to guarantee that we land the bind and defense break with RNL skill 2. So Witch of the Mirror Tenebria is going to be here. She's also just a secondary kind of fail-safe unit in case things go wrong. We can kind of control the Rinok and the rest of the team here. So speed and hit set. She's mostly a book holder though. You can technically run anybody you want in this slot. And so yeah, that's all she's really doing. Gonna be debuffer and helping with some dual attacks and stuff with the RNL, right? But the main thing here is that we need to make sure we cut this Rinok. Even if RNL goes first, we need somebody to go after her. And so here's where Eye of the Abyss Fumir comes in. When RNL takes an extra turn, right, we're gonna get 2 turns here. Umbral Keystones is actually gonna proc. This is a guaranteed combat readiness push, unlike her own artifact, Eye of the Abyss Fumir's artifact. Mine's not maxed out, so it's not a 100% chance to proc. I wanna make sure we're consistent for Guild Wars here. So this is where the combat readiness is gonna come in. We should be able to banish that Arbiter Vildred from the game, and then we don't have to deal with him for the remainder of the fight. And as long as we can finish off the other 2 units before RB gets out of the banishment, then we will win the match, right? So we're currently running speed and hit set. You don't need a ton of effectiveness because our skill 3 ignores effect res, but the skill 2, definitely you want to push back that Rinok if possible, especially if you have another follow-up unit, right, that's not as fast. You want to be able to take the turn. Okay, for the next team here, the bottom team, we have Super Evasion being stacked up with Satsuka giving 30% more evasion to the RNL, which means at the start of the match, she's going to have max evasion. Notos is also there, which is really annoying because he's usually on Holy Sacrifice, but this is where Bunny Dom comes in. We have 200 effect res on this Bunny Dom, kind of tweaked her gear a little bit. She's running immunity with speed set, and then she has Doctor's Bag. Doctor's Bag enables her to cleanse the fear off of your allies if they do get feared from the RNL, and the immunity with the 200 res is really important so that RNL can't strip your immunity, and when she comes in with the skill 3, you don't get feared on your Bunny Dom, right? So with this setup, we should be good enough to deal with the rest of his team, and then Briarwitch Assyria is actually here because our passive prevents revives. Briarwitch is one of my faster units on the account, 307 speed. She's going to be an opener here with Renewed Will. Obviously not going to be faster than my opponent's RNL, but we do still have a bit of damage on us as well with the crit chance being maxed out and a little bit of effectiveness to boot, so we don't necessarily have to soul burn on her, especially because none of my opponents should be running effect res on these units on standard builds. And last but not least, we have Tidal Rift Elvira, yet again, still running Twilight Calamity, should work really well with Bunny Dom because that non-attack skill gives Vigor buff. Hopefully it gives us the attack buff here too, so that'll be a ton of damage that we're going to be putting down onto this Notos. And if we can get that attack buff, I think it secures the one-shot. If we don't, we might be in a little bit of trouble, but let's just go ahead and jump in and see what we do. We do gain combat readiness though with the Elvira, so hopefully it's going to be enough to lap around and take care of the Notos just in case, right? He doesn't go down immediately. Alright, so RNL is going to come in. We are just slightly faster than this Rinok. Wow, 3%. It's not too bad. Let's go for a skill 2 Soul Burn here. Onto the Perfume Bibulus. There you go. Beautiful stuff. Taking her out like immediately, actually. So what I'm going to do is actually go for, let's go for a skill 1 onto the Rinok. There you go. Took her out. And then look at this. We get to jump up with the Fumir. And honestly, we don't even need a skill 2 here. But yeah, just go for a skill 3. Because we took out the Rinok, might as well just go for this, right? And just banish the Arbiter Vildred, and that's an immediate win. Look at that. I think that's the first time I've ever used Fumir to close out a game, but that is hilarious and kind of oddly satisfying. Alright, there you go. Look at that. RNL coming in with the skill 2. No debuffs, which means no extra attack, which is very important. Bunny Dom very healthy right now. And we do get to cleanse, so I'm going to push up the team. Hopefully Twilight Calamity procs here. If it doesn't, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, there we go. It did proc. One day I will hope to get that to plus 30, so that Elvira becomes more consistent in her damage. But let's go for the skill 3 here. Strip some buffs. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Okay, Lethal Whispers is proccing. That is fine, because Briarwitch just needs to stay alive. That's all she needs to do. And Elvira can come in with a Vigor buff and an attack buff. And we can go for the skill 3. Let's go for the Notos now. Come on. It's going to be a curse inflicted onto everybody. This should be a ton of damage. Can we one-shot everyone here? Oh, yeah, we can. Holy damage, guys. Now that was super clean and a lot faster than I thought it would be, right? Incredible stuff. Alright guys, moving on to the third and final match of this guild war, up against the last main tower that this guild has to offer to us, and they have quite a tanky team here, right? Harsetti with Afternoon Soak Flan, very dangerous for faster teams, and Notos there obviously to bring up the rear with his domain expansion that can pretty much destroy anybody that's trapped within it. So for this fight, we're going to go on the offensive here, bringing in our Zeo, and this boy is going to be faster than Harsetti. He always wins in the speed race against Harsetti, and so we're bringing in Tagahel's Ancient Book for some Soulburn shenanigans, especially because we're bringing in MLTU as well. My Zeo is going to be team imprinted for attack. I just want to guarantee that I Soulburn him so I can push back my opponent, and then we can get MLTU in action. We're going to have to attack the Harsetti because there's a chance to miss on the Afternoon Soak Flan, and Notos cannot be pushed back, so do keep that in mind. Successor Teiyu though, this is my build. I know it's a really weird build to have on a Teiyu, but I like it. It's a fun little Teiyu build, and we're just gonna run with it, right? So for Successor Teiyu here, he's on kind of a tankier, bruiserier build, if that's even a word, and I'm going to really enjoy using him here because he's going to be able to defense break my opponents. I won't be able to ignore res and kind of get rid of my opponents here, but we should still be okay. He has some sustain, some bulk and stuff, some resistance. It's not like he's going to get stripped by the Harseti at all. And we're also bringing Hikari. So Hikari should be able to bring up the rear here and pretty much take out whatever Teiyu can't. So she is going to be here on Warfare set. We should be able to just rip a skill 3 right out the gate, either take care of Notos or take care of the Afternoon Soak Flan. Either way, she prevents reviving, so we should be alright in that department too, not having to worry about Notos having the Holy Sacrifice and then coming back with a vengeance. For the bottom team here, my opponent actually has Elvira on a defense team, which is kind of cool to see, and my guild did leave a note saying it's an opener Elvira, so that's kind of dangerous. If it's faster than Rinok, then what it's going to do is it's going to curse your entire team, and then Rinok's going to come in, and everyone's going to explode. So that is super dangerous, and I don't want that to happen, so we're going to bring in, again, our RNL. We showed our stats earlier, but here's a quick glimpse at them yet again. My fastest unit that I have, 316 speed, but in addition to this, because I fear it's not going to be enough, we're also going to bring in our tactical archetype Koli, who has a 12 speed imprint for the entire team, bringing my RNL up to 328 speed. Hopefully it's enough. We have a maxed out Shadow Wind 7 as well to give us the 10 souls and a swift attack buff to ourselves here, which is nice. And then we're going to come in with speed and hit set here for some you know, shenanigans. 250 effectiveness just casually there, trying to bomb our opponents. There's a chance we miss on the Rinok, but hopefully the RNL fears the Rinok and she doesn't take a turn. And then we also have our own Tidal Rift Elvira, as you guys know. We're currently running her on Butterfly Hair Ornament. This is Fern's artifact. I kind of wanted to test it just to see how the damage compares to having an attack buff, for example, but I really like the idea of a barrier that's on her. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if this will work. I don't know if we're just going to finish off our opponent before, you know, they get to do stuff, but the reason I changed the artifact is because we don't have a non-attack skill on any of our units here, so there's no point in running her on the Twilight Calamity, right? Because you're never going to get the attack buff procced. Alright, let's go for it, guys. Let's go for the Soul Burn onto the Harseti. See if we can push her back here with this guaranteed ignore res. So push up the MLTU, very cool, and we're going to skill through with the MLTU. I probably should have changed his artifact, actually, so he's not on Sigurd's Scythe, but it's okay. Defense break on the Notos, exactly what you want to see. Probably should have changed his artifact just so I can push up the Hikari here, but that's quite alright. So yeah, he is going to come in and attack our Hikari. We should be fine. Flan shouldn't be able to one-shot us or anything like that, and we do have immunity, so we're good. And let's go for a skill 3 onto the Afternoon Soak Flan. This should take her out. Pretty sure this will take her out here. There we go, we penetrate defense, almost 20k damage, guys, beautiful stuff. Harseti, unfortunately, going to be going for the Hikari, and we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet, guys. So we're going to go for this. MLTU's coming up hot on my opponent's heels. If I ran him on a different artifact, I should have been able to push up my combat readiness. Merciless Glut, I believe it is, to push up Hikari so that we didn't have to take that additional damage from the Afternoon Soak Flan. Definitely my bad there, but you see, Teiyu's damage is still good, even though I've siphoned a lot of his damage into his bulk and resistance. Alright, what do we do now? We're gonna go for a skill 2 here into the Bossarunka. If we debuff her, great. If not, it's fine. Oh, that's very nice. We did get the bind. Pushing up our team. Look at that, guys. Elvira pushing up quite a bit. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna go for a skill 3. And I hope this pushes up Elvira again. That'd be kind of nice. After every time you attack, if there's a debuff on your opponent, there's a chance for you to push up. Unfortunately, Bossarunka takes the turn, going into the Elvira. Oh no, sorry, going into the RNL. Very nice. It was a 50-50 shot because both were dark. We actually do take the turn with Elvira, so Koli doesn't even get a chance to move. That's fine. Curse on everybody. Let's go. Finish off this Bossarunka here. Curious to see. Oh, okay. The barrier isn't actually that great, it looks like. So maybe not the best thing to be running on her. It's kind of unfortunate. I really wanted the barrier to be nice and thick so that we would have gotten a pretty sizable barrier, but oh well, it's all good because, hey, managed to still sweep in the end there. Easy peasy. I think the Rinnoc actually resisted the curse, which is why she didn't go down with the Elvira, but that's quite alright. So that is gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think of Tidal Rift Elvira in the comments section down below. It's been a few days since her release. Have your feelings about her changed? Do you think she's still worth pulling for or farming the Weakening set for? She requires 2 of the newer sets, right? Even Pursuit set, which is kind of difficult to get your hands on at the moment. But yeah, I really enjoy Tidal Rift Elvira. I think she's in a really good spot right now for offensive play. Just definitely harder to use if you're a turn 2 player. In my opinion, we couldn't really find any matches where we could utilize her defensive tankiness. We have a lot of fixed damage with things like Rinnoc and stuff on the opponent's defense teams this time around. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.